Alright guys, we're doing a partial reset. I got the red ball. This is a very soft ball that gets into sensitive areas. You have the lacrosse ball. This one gets into the deeper surface areas. And the foam roller gets into the bigger surface areas of the muscles. Alright, so we're going to start from the top part of the foot to the heel. So let's put this lacrosse ball to the heel and start rolling up and down. What we're doing here is scanning for a tender area. You have the option to either stay there for it to release or also continue rolling it until it relaxes. We have 26 bones in the foot. What I'm doing here is opening up the metatarsals, also known as the little bone muscles. We're going to do single leg skiers next, 3 sets of 5 reps. Make sure the big toe, pinky toe, and heel is nice and fully contact to the floor. The purpose of this exercise is to re-educate ankle stability and keeping the foot grounded. This is great for people who have plantar fascia or wear restricted shoes all day, and it helps open up the foot so that it is functional again. Give this a try and let me know how this goes. Next up is we're working on the shin from the top to the bottom. We're going to hit the peroneals and also the anterior tibialis. Alright, let's get started. So you're going to put the ball on top of the shin, and what we're doing here is we're going to scan the area and find an area that's tender, and we can either stay there or move it up and down, left and right, and make sure once the muscle relaxes you can move your way down to the bottom of the shin muscle and also the peroneals. Next up is the calf reset. Great for people who wear heels or do a lot of jumping or running. We're going to start from the top part of the calf to the bottom. Alright, so what we're doing is wiggling side to side, and we're scanning for an area to work on. Once you find an area to work on, you can either just pin the muscle and relax it, or continue working your way down. You can also pin the muscle, flex it, and extend it to shorten and lengthen the tissue to help make it relax a little quicker. Next up is the adductor reset. Doing adductor reset and strengthening the groin will help reduce inner thigh strains. Alright, so let's get started. So you're going to put one leg onto the foam roller, and it's going to be at 90 degrees, and the back leg's going to be straight. So what I'm doing here is I'm rolling back and forth, scanning for an area to work on. So you have 3 options to work on to the adductor. You can either roll back and forth to shorten and lengthen the tissue, or you can scan for an area that is tender to work on. And the third option is you can flex and extend the foot to shorten and lengthen the inner groin muscles. After working the inner groin muscles, we're gonna do a frog mobility exercise. We're gonna re-educate the body to get into those new ranges, and listen to your body. If you can't go all the way back to your foot, then go however far your body will let you, and you'll do 3 sets of 5 reps. And opening up adductors will help hip rotation, making it easier to move in multiple directions and help reduce restrictions. Alright guys, we're doing a quad reset. We're going to start from the top, middle, and bottom. So let's get started. So you're going to put the foam roller on the top part of the quad, back leg straight, other leg is going to be at 90. We're wiggling back and forth to scan for an area to work on. Once you release, you can scoot the foam roller to another area to work on. So if you guys have really tight quads from sitting all day or from repetitive movement of quad dominant exercise, this is a great way to reset and release the quads so that they get the full range of motion. You can flex and extend the foot to shorten and lengthen the tissue, or wiggle back and forth to get the tissue to relax. Alright guys, we're doing a Psoas reset, so let's pen the ball right next to the crest of the hip as shown here. So let's get into position. So you're going to pin the ball right next to the crest of the hip and sink into the ball. What we'll do next is we're going to wiggle back and forth, up and down. We're scanning for an area to work on. Once you find an area to work on, you're going to do 10 breaths, inhale, exhale, until the ball starts to melt into the tissue and relax. Then we'll move on to the other side of the hip, and once both hips are relaxed, we're going to do dead bugs. So dead bugs activate the core and the deep core muscles, and it also teaches the pelvis to be in a neutral position. So let's have both arms up, knees up, and you're gonna really activate the deep core muscles and the core. And keep the back really flat, opposite arm, opposite legs, and really flex and brace the core. You're gonna do 3 sets of 5 reps. This is great for people who have low back pain or sit down all day. Hamstring reset. We're going to start from the top to the bottom of the hamstrings. Alright, so let's get into position. So you're going to put the foam roller at the top part of the hamstring. You're going to lean back. Now you're going to wiggle back and forth, scanning for an area to work on. If you don't feel any tenderness, you can move on to another section and continue wiggling back and forth, or you can pin it until the muscle releases. Next up is the TFL reset. We are going to work below the crest of the hip, hitting the TFL and the glute medius. Start by putting the foam roller on the side of the hip, top leg bent at 90 degrees. Bottom leg is straight out. Shift back and forth, finding a good position. Once you find a tender spot, stay there until the muscle release, or you can shift left and right until it starts to relax. This is great for people who sit down all day and runners with tight TFL. Glute reset. We're going to start from the top to the bottom of the glute. Alright, so let's get into position. So start by shifting on one side of the glute. You'll then bend the knee and cross over the other leg. Lean to the side, roll up and down to scan a tender area. You can also shift side to side to get different parts of the muscle. And you can stay on the area that's tender for 10 breaths, then move on to the next area. This is great for people who have tight glute muscles. Diaphragm reset. You're going to put the ball in between the rib cage and the hip area as shown. Alright, so let's get into position. You're going to lay sideways, sinking in as far as your body will let you go. Slowly flip over to your stomach. Rock side to side. Once you find a good position, take 10 breaths, until the muscle release. The feeling is tender but not painful. Benefits of the release is to improve digestive function, boost immune system, decrease PMS symptoms, improve posture, and release physical and emotional stress. So if you're stressed out or sitting all day, give this a try. Low back reset, also known as the QL or the quadratus lumborum. We're going to start from the top part of the rib cage to the bottom of the crest of the hip. So we're going to pin the ball down and lay it down and relax. You're going to scan, shift left and right, up and down until you find a good spot. You can hang out there and do 10 breaths, or you can do pelvic tilt up and down to shorten and lengthen the QLs. You're going to do 3 sets of 5 reps of this, and once you're done, you can switch to the other side. So you're having low back tension, give this a try and let me know how it goes. Mid-back reset, also known as the thoracic spine. We're going to be working on the upper back area. So let's get into position. Arms behind your head. Hips is going to be slightly off the floor, and you're going to slowly move up and down until you find an area that needs work on, and you're going to take 10 breaths until the foam roller starts to melt into the tissue. You're going to do 3 sets of 10 breaths and work on different sections. This is great for people who sit at the office all day, and people tend to get really tight in the upper back, so this is great to do. Next up is the chest reset. We're going to start from the top part of the chest to the sternum. So let's get into position. So you're going to put the foam roller at 45, and you're going to pin the pec muscle, the top part. You're going to shift back and forth and scan for an area that needs work on. Once you find a good position, you can stay there and take 10 breaths, inhale and exhale, and let the tissue slowly melt into the foam roller, and then you can continue scanning after it relaxes. And if you guys feel like there's no tenderness in the area, you can go ahead and work on the other side. Next up is going to be a open book exercise. This one's going to open up the pecs and mid back. So if you sit down a lot, your pec muscle tends to get shortened and the mid back gets stiff from just long days of sitting. So this exercise is great to do after a long day of work. So you're going to lay down, make sure to pin one hand onto the knee, and you're going to slowly rotate the other hand and the trunk to the other side. And as you're doing this, you're inhaling and then exhaling to the other side. You're going to do 3 sets of 5 reps. And after that, you're going to switch over to the other side. So for those who sit down all day or need more mid-back and rotation in the upper body, this is a great exercise to do, and these are called open book. So give this a try and let me know how it goes. Alright? Next up is the lat reset. We're going to palpate this area because most people tend to be very sensitive. We're going to start from the armpit to the rib cage. Once you find a sensitive area, we're going to go ahead and pin the foam roller in that tender area, and we're going to roll up and down to shorten and lengthen the tissue. We can also work on our external rotation, so put your elbows down to the floor and go back and forth. In addition to doing the lat reset and the pecs, this will help re-centralize the shoulder so that your posture is more upright. And if you don't feel any more tenderness on this side, go ahead and switch to the other side. Next up is the rotator cuff reset. We're going to pin the lacrosse ball in the middle of the rotator cuff. It's also known as the infraspinatus. Its function is external rotation. We're shortening and lengthening the tissue here. You can also get a different angle with upward external rotation, and we're scanning for an area to work on. You can also shift side to side, up and down until the muscle relaxes, or you can do external rotation and roll out. If your shoulders are tight, give this a try. Next up is the deltoid reset. We're going to work on the 3 fibers of the deltoid. It's going to be the front, middle, and the back. So let's get into position. So you're going to lay sideways, legs straight out, top leg is going to be bent. You're going to scan back and forth, up and down. Make sure to find an area that is sensitive but not painful, and you're going to pin it there, and you're going to inhale and exhale for 10 breaths. This will help the body relax into the tissue. So if you have tight shoulders, give this a try and let me know how it goes. Next up is the trap reset. We're going to start from the top to the bottom of the trap. So let's go ahead and pin the ball to the end first. And we're going to wiggle back and forth, scanning for an area to work on. Once you find a good position to stay on, you're going to inhale and exhale. The purpose of the breathing is so that you can relax the muscle a little quicker and the ball is able to sink into the tissue. And if it's very sensitive, don't force the ball into the tissue, just lightly put the pressure until it starts to release. If you don't feel any tension along this area, go ahead and switch to the other side, but make sure to work from the top part of the trap to the end of the trap. Next up is the neck tension reset. Say goodbye to neck tension. We will start from the top part of the occipital lobe to the mid-neck area. So let's get into position. So you're going to lay down, then you're going to put the foam roller in between the mid-neck to the top area. We're going to start with neck rotations. You're going to do 10 reps on each side. Once you get 10 reps on each side, we're going to do neck glides. So you're going to do glides up and down from the mid part of the neck to the top part of the occipital lobe. After that, you will do sidelining neck glides. You will do 10 passes of these on each side of the neck. Then you will switch to sidelining neck rotation. You are going to do 10 reps of these. And thanks for watching this partial reset series. The purpose of this is to help maintain flexibility and reduce tension. So if you have aches or pain that don't seem to go away, book a wellness call with me and I can show you how you can future-proof your body.